A deadly massacre of the post-slavery era finally gets a suitable memorial. I just keep hearing more and more of these stories about how they killed and destroyed our towns. It's just more and more I find every other day. All right, this article comes from MSN.com. All right. Exactly 150 years after a violent massacre left dozens of black people dead, the small Louisiana town where it happened is honoring its victim with a new memorial, replacing a racist historical marker. I keep seeing these markers and memorials. That's not enough. That's not enough. The original marker was placed near the Grant Parish Courthouse in Colfax, Louisiana in 1951 to document a violent confrontation between newly emancipated black voters and white Confederate sympathizers in the town. It called the killing of dozens of black people a riot that marked the end of misrule in the South. The marker, which also honored three white men who died, was torn down in 2021. So the old marker honored three white men also. What's the rest of the story? I know that can't be it. I'll continue. Sorry about that. Continue reading. That marker, which also honored three white men who died, was torn down in 2021 and was replaced Thursday with a 7-foot granite monument on the 150th anniversary of the Colfax Massacre. Avery Hamilton and Charles Dean Woods, leaders of the Colfax Memorial Organization, led an initiative to erect the monument, which lists 57 black people identified in a mass killing by the racist mob on April 13th, 1873. It also features artwork reflecting the black experience during Reconstruction by Jasmine Lee Johnson, a black visual artist. Wood said he left both shocked and ashamed after learning about his great-grandfather Bedford E. Wood's involvement in the massacre. This prompted him to work with city officials to get the original sign removed in May 2021. I was just like, what do I do about this? Woods, who lives in Houston, said. And when I finally found out about the marker being there, I went to Colfax and saw it in person and just, tried to figure out what to do. A sign marking the Colfax riot in Colfax, Louisiana in 2021. Andrew Lichtenstein, Corbis via Getty Images file, blah, 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 blah. Hamilton and Woods said outsiders and many residents have little knowledge of the massacre, which is why they aim to use the monument to educate others about what happened that day. It's never too late to tell the truth, Hamilton, a Colfax resident, said. The truth begins with the killing of Hamilton's ancestors, Jesse McKinney, on April 5th, 1873. There was a band of whites, 10 to 15, I bet you it was more than that, rode up on my great-great-grandfather who was on his farm mending his fences, minding his business, working his land. Hamilton, 57, said, and they rode up on him without a word of warning and just shot him. And his wife, their children witnessed this. The unprovoked killing aroused fear in Colfax black residents, prompting them to seek refuge together at the courthouse. At the same time, white residents spread rumors accusing black people of rioting. They do that same shit today. On April 13th, 1873, Easter Sunday, on April 13th, 1873, Easter Sunday, black men guarding the Grant Parish courthouse were attacked by a mob of white men who ultimately killed an estimated 57 to 80 black people. I can guarantee you it was more than that. See, when you read stories like this, they give you a number of the people that were killed, but it's always more than that. Federal troops arrested several white men in connection with the massacre, and 9 were charged in the case U.S. versus Cruikshank. Ultimately, the Supreme Court ruled in the men's favor in 1876. The Supreme Court ruled in their favor in 1876. Wow. No justice. The massacre is one of many instances of racial terror that tore through the South to continue. Hold on. That was just more than the South. That type of shit was happening everywhere. Please believe it wasn't. See, when they tell these stories, they always say how the South was racist and how the South had all these massacres. But this happened all over the country. Not just in the South, it happened in the North, the Midwest, the West Coast, everywhere. All right. The massacre was one of many instances of racial terror that tore through the South to continue the oppression of hierarchy established by slavery, which had only been abolished 7 years prior, Wood said. The impact on black Americans was much more than those 57 to 80 people that were killed, he said. It was on millions and millions of black Americans who were denied their rights into the early 60s, and even now, we still have struggles in America with people who don't provide equal rights to all men. The Colfax massacre also resulted in the continued disenfranchisement of many black residents, further preventing them from having a political voice, said Hamilton, who is the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Colfax. Hamilton's father, Tom Hamilton Jr., was the first black person in Colfax to run for mayor in 1978, he said. While his father lost the election, Hamilton said he did eventually become the first black person elected to the municipal board known as the police jury in Grant Parish, where Colfax is based, in 1982. Hamilton's brother, Gerald Hamilton, became Colfax's first black mayor in 2014. Before his father, there was absolutely no blacks in any political position in Colfax ever, Hamilton said. Donors raised approximately $65,000 to build the new monument, Wood said. While there is a memorial in town honoring the white mob members, there was nothing that honored the memories of the black men who were fighting for their right to exist, Hamilton said, until now. The new memorial names 57 black men who were confirmed fatalities from the massacre, but Hamilton said there is no doubt more were killed. What did I just say? 57 were confirmed fatalities. No doubt more were killed. With the new memorial, Hamilton said he wanted to honor the men and want what they died for. Upon learning of his efforts to build the new memorial, some people have asked him, why not leave it alone? His response, because now is the time. Why now? Is because my grandmother couldn't do it, Hamilton said. My great-grandmother couldn't do it. No, let's check that. They didn't want to do it. How about that? They didn't have the political power. They didn't have the means, the money, the muscle to do what we are doing now. What we are doing today couldn't have been done 50 years ago. For Woods, this new memorial not only inspires him, but future generations, including his black 7-year-old granddaughter, whom he wants to have the opportunity to excel and be treated equally, he said. We just can't sit back and talk about things. We have to act and move the needle forward on justice for all people. You can miss me with that all people shit. Wood said, regardless of race or ethnicity or national origin, and these are the things that I want people who hear about this story to recognize and to examine in their own lives, in their own hearts. I hate hearing that all lives matter shit. Why do we always do that? Yeah, I get so upset reading articles like this. Like I said, I find them more and more where they just killing everybody in the town. And this is one of the reasons we fighting for reparations. All the shit they done to us in the past to present day, it needs to be something done. Just putting a memorial, that's not enough. They destroyed people's lives. They stole people's inheritance. All right. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments.